It's Fiesta time. Hey y'all, it's April and thanks for stopping by my crazy creative life. In today's video, we are finally going to start the series that I talked about last week, which was the vintage recipe series. And if you recall, I showed you this book. I don't know if I'd get in trouble if I showed the whole entire name or not, but get what I'm talking about. Anyway, this book, it's 1987 is this recipe book from SL. I'm going to call them SL. But from SL, it was 1987. Inside this book, it was apparently in the September issue. But if you know anything about the SL, it's a magazine that comes out once a month, and it's got a lot of recipes and different things in it. But recipes is the big thing. They kind of talk to you about just the way, I guess, Southerners live, and talks about decorations and just different stuff. Anyway, the one I chose to start us off with, it is in the September issue. If you have this book, and it is on page 180, but it's called Fiesta, and it does not take a ton of ingredients at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you right now. That's it. So it's really a simple meal, and then you can top it with some other stuff. Actually, it says you can top it with pecans and coconut. I've never heard either pecans or coconut on like a Tex-Mex type dish, you know. I might try it just to see what it's like. So anyway, if that sounds interesting and you want to see how we make this Fiesta dish, and I will put the recipe in the description box. Of course, it's their recipe, not mine, but I will put it in the description box. If you're interested, then keep on watching, and let's go ahead and jump on in. I've got about a pound, maybe a little over a pound, because this pack was 2 pounds and something. So I tried to roughly get about half of that. And then we're going to take 1/4 cup of those onions. We're going to brown this together, then we're going to drain the grease. Okay, I went ahead and drained this. I've got it turned down on low at the moment. But I drained the grease, and I rinsed out my pot, and I brought it back over here. So this is just my hamburger browned up with the onion in it. Okay, so to this, we are going to add the 14.5 ounce can of the diced petite tomatoes, 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And looks like my can got bent, but 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. So that's the small one. Then 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, so a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, the next thing, it calls for a 15.5 ounce can of ranch style beans. I had to look that up. I wasn't sure what ranch style beans are. They're very similar to chili beans, and they just have a slight different taste, but the bean itself is pretty much the same bean. I think it's just the spices they can it with is just slightly different. So it's going to change this taste just ever so slightly, but I wasn't where I could get these ranch style beans, and honestly, I think they're kind of hard to find. My local Walmart, I'm not even sure if they had them or not, but I did see that they have the potential to carry them, so I will link and show you what they look like. But I'm just using a can of the chili beans. Now, all I've got to do is add some of our spices, which is just chili powder and garlic powder. I'll probably add onion powder, you know me. And I'm going to taste test it because it calls for like 1 teaspoon of chili powder, half teaspoon of garlic powder, and that's it. To me, that doesn't seem like a whole lot of spices, but that's it. And then you make a thing of instant rice, and what you do at the end of it, you just crumble up your Frito-Lay chips, and then you put a layer of the instant rice on top, and then you put the layer of that meat on top of that. Then on top of that, you layer it however you want. If you want like just a diced tomato, lettuce, cheese, sour cream, guacamole. It calls for olives. I don't eat olives. I don't like olives, but I did buy some in case my husband wanted some. And then onion on top. Now, from the way that I'm reading the directions, it's just that just that part of that white onion that you cut up to get your fourth to go into the hamburger. I think green onions would be better. I don't have any. I thought I did, but I don't. So I'm not putting green onions on top, but that's an option for you. You could also do, like I said, sour cream, probably taco sauce would be good on top of that. So you can doctor it up any way you want. This is just kind of the base of this recipe. So let's get back to the stove, and I'm going to put my spices in and let that kind of just simmer down, and then we'll cook our rice and we'll get her all assembled together. All right, here's a teaspoon of chili powder. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of garlic. I'm putting in a teaspoon. I think 1/2 teaspoon is not enough, but you can do as you want. I'm also adding a teaspoon of onion powder. I think it needs that. I try not to do much more doctoring, so that way I can stick pretty much to the original recipe. Let me give this a taste. That's good. That's really good. You don't need any more flavoring. The only thing that I am going to change in this, other than, well, I guess I've changed a few things because I'm using chili beans instead of ranch style beans. I've added a little more garlic powder, and I added some onion powder. That's really the only thing I've done different. I am going to do one more thing. I think it would be good, and honestly, I want to think, this is another reason why I'm doing this. I want to think in those ranch style beans, it had black beans in it. Now, I could be wrong on that, but part of me wants to think I've seen black beans in with the chili bean, the chili bean, the pinto bean. So I'm going to add a can. I think it's the 15.5 ounce. Yeah, I'm going to add a 15.5 ounce can of black beans. Now, with black beans, anytime you use black beans, you want to drain them and then rinse them off pretty good. Shake them off before you put them into your chili. Now, chili beans is fine to just dump it straight in there. The black beans, you don't want to do that. Okay, again, these black beans have been drained and rinsed. It's just one can. All right, it says to bring the mixture to a boil, then reduce it down to simmer and let it simmer for 1 hour. Didn't take it long. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the simmer, and then we'll cover it with the lid. Now with the rice, you just follow it according to the directions on the back. I'm doing the 4 cups, so, well, the 4 servings. So it's 2 cups of water and 2 cups of rice. So once this water comes to a boil, then we're going to add 2 cups of rice. But now I like to add, you can do whatever you want. I like to add a little bit of salt and just a little bit of butter, like about a pat of butter in here. And you can also use chicken broth. That gives it your rice more flavor. I'm not doing that. I'm just using water. But you can do, you know, anything like that. But like I said, I'm just throwing a pat of butter in there, which is roughly about a tablespoon. Okay, once that comes to a boil, we'll get our rice going. Okay, I think we're at a boil, so let's turn the stove off. Oops. Okay, there's 1 cup. There's 2 cups. You can put the lid back on it and then remove it off the heat. And so let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then after, right before serving, I'm going to take my spoon thing and go back in there, kind of fluff it up. Now again, you can top it at anything that you like. There's lettuce right there, some cilantro. You could add green onion. I did go back a little bit later and I added some taco sauce, and I really like the taco sauce on it. Not too bad. I prefer tortilla chips over the corn chips. It needs a little bit of salt for me, but not too bad. So hopefully you will enjoy this vintage video and want to try to make it yourself. And that's all for the video. If you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the little subscribe button down below, and I'll leave the link below, and you can search for or click on the link of my Facebook. I have a Facebook group now. It's my Crazy Creative Life Facebook group. And hopefully you'll come over and join that too. So that is it. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. Hey, if you like this video, you may want to check out my previous video or my previous series. Talk to you soon.